1059.com.
All right, here we go. Welcome in on this Tuesday. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team. And if you have your insurance with Farm Bureau, then I don't know that with this type of weather forecast we got coming. I don't know if rest easy is the right word, but you can at least rest assured that, if you do have damage, they're going to help you out and be able to start writing checks the next day, as is their reputation all around the state and all 82 counties. We're looking at this weather deal. All right, so let me just say here at the top of the show, it's almost like, we get these a few times a year where it seems like weather is maybe going to dominate the day. And I guess it's a little later when it's supposed to come through. I am not an expert. I'm not a meteorologist, but I can do like anybody else and maybe follow the people who are. So, as it pertains to that, I keep an eye on it. And, if anything pops up while we're on the air here, we'll certainly try to let you know. Okay, so there's that. All right, we're going to take a look and keep an eye on the weather as we talk sports today on the show. And we'll stay connected to you because of C Spire. The number one network in Mississippi is C Spire. Customer inspired. I think it's kind of where the name comes from. Customer inspired, shorten it down to C Spire. Yeah, you can be a part of the show. Hope you will be. You've already gotten some comments here on the live stream over on YouTube. We'll get to those in a minute. Yeah, so if you're watching the live stream on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, feel free to type a comment in there and post it, and we'll get it and pop it up on the screen. You can also text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It is the best sausage, hands down. In, well, my opinion, but shared by many others. Anywho, text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. That number is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. And, of course, you can call me. Also, I get to hear your voice that way. And everybody else gets to hear your voice, too. That'd be good. Number to call is 897-1059. Got it? That's a 601 number, 897-1059. So give me a shout today. Love to hear from you. Headlines are coming up in just a bit. Let me check in with my old buddy, old pal B, see how he's doing today. Beaver!
Hey, Matt Wyatt.
So the weather's coming a little later in the day, supposed to, as you watch the forecast?
Yeah, so here in central Mississippi, it's supposed to hit between 2 and 6 is the window they're giving us.
What kind of things have you heard?
Yeah, the standard stuff of strong wind gusts, tornadoes possible, and hail likely.
Okay.
Now, the forecast I saw this morning on APT, which, speaking of APT, man, David Hartman's getting ready to pounce.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
right.
With their radar, the way it's looking, it sounds like it's not going to get terrible. She said, now I love how they put this. They said, unless a stray storm breaks away. Well, don't give me that. Just keep me thinking that, okay, this is a straight line coming. Don't give me, well, if this breaks away and if this happens, extra chaos.
Extra chaos on top of the normal, everyday run-of-the-mill chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, let's just hope that we don't get the tornadoes and tracking and doing lots of damage. My goodness, let's just pray that doesn't happen.
Yeah. The day has already started out. You know what? The day started out when I talked to you about 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, things were going pretty excellent. And then the second the show started, I realized something, and the day completely turned.
What did you realize?
On the way here, I went to Walmart, only to get a few items.
Yeah.
And I realized I was supposed to look for one item at that Walmart that I forgot to look for because yesterday, remember, Patches O'Houlihan texted in, and he had that picture. He had found that item that I meant to look for at a Walmart. So since I was at a Walmart today, I says to myself, when I go in there, look for this. And I forgot to look for it.
Yeah, he even sent us the picture. Yeah. And I picked up on the clue there, the little strap on the buggy. It said Walmart on it. That's the dead giveaway.
Eagle eye.
Eagle eye here. Yeah. So, well, yeah, you just had other things on your mind, I guess. Beaver, I guess that's what it is.
I tell you what I had on my brain is that buggy in the parking lot, Matt Wyatt. I witnessed something today. We all know that people they get worthless when it gets in the parking lot.
Right.
So when it comes to buggies, leaving your buggies around, not putting your buggies up. And normally we see people leave them either beside a parking space or sometimes in a parking space. Now that's bad enough. That is trash enough.
Right.
Shame on you if you do it. You're nonsense. You're garbage. But today I saw something. So the way the Walmart lanes work is there's none of this two-way. Like, you can go down this direction, but if you want to go up the other direction, you got to go to the next aisle.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Okay, a one-way aisle, and right at the end of the aisle where it says stop, there's a buggy literally sitting in the middle to where if someone was absolutely going to have to stop their car, get out, and move that buggy to be able to just leave. That's the worst instance I've ever seen of this.
Do you think the wind blew it there? Is that possible?
Okay, now that did pop into my brain too, and it might have been an explanation, but the way people are, I think someone just pulled a nonsense move because the way it was positioned, like it didn't look like, I mean, it was parked as if it would have had to have been at the front of the store and blown straight in a straightaway direction. So I think someone left it there. They pulled the ultimate crap move.
Yep. The ultimate, I am the only person on the face of the earth move.
Yeah.
That's what kind of move that is. Let's see.
If you were at if anybody is listening who happened to be at the Flowood Walmart today and did that, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Shame on you. The ultimate, I'm the only person on the face of the earth move. That's what that is. Selfish. Remember this. Remember this. Selfishness ruins everything every time. Just remember that. Hey, real quick weather update. So I on Facebook, Gene commented on the live stream here, and he said high winds and power lines down in Warren County. So we're talking about, over in Vicksburg, getting a little further west. And I just looked at this, Gene. This was at straight up noon, so now that would have been 8 minutes ago if you're listening live in the middle of the day. The main line of this storm that's this front that's coming through here going to cause all this bad weather is just west of the Mississippi River. It's almost like it is running parallel with the Mississippi River, so just slightly a line stretching northeast. That's like if you were drew a line up, a straight line, kind of just west of the Mississippi River. And so like Monroe, Louisiana, Bastrop, that's all getting popped, okay, with this storm coming through there right now as we speak. Kind of lets you know where it is. So the winds you're getting in Vicksburg, you're out in front of it, and back over to the west in Monroe, it's getting hammered right now. And if you go all the way north, start stretching up north into the Delta where the river kind of ventures out a little further west, like the upper part of this front, this line that's going to come through here is starting to get over there and touch the Delta, like Greenville and Cleveland, those that are right there on the river. They're already getting big storms and heavy rain, and that's stuff that what kind of like Beaver was describing, these runaway storms out in front of the line. That's kind of what Cleveland and Greenville are getting right now. So I'll keep an eye on it. And let me know if y'all are over that way and you see anything. Let me know. All right? All right. Okay, headlines. Let's go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Right here at home in Mississippi. If it's mortgage related, that's where you go. Trust me on that. Look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. When you see Went, tell them I said hello. Say, hey, Went. All right, headline number one. Due to the threat of inclement weather for today, State has moved its midweek baseball game with 20th ranked Southern Miss back a day. They're going to play tomorrow at 4. So it was scheduled for today at 4. They just moved it back one day. A wise old goofball on the radio yesterday told you that was probably what was going to happen, and sure enough, it did. Now, baseball game is pushed back to tomorrow. Tonight's basketball game inside Humphrey Coliseum against Texas, 7 p.m. on the SEC Network, is unaffected. That's going to go forward. Okay, and you would think potentially weather affects the crowd in that one, but yeah, no baseball today. They're going to cover the field and play the baseball game tomorrow. Basketball game will go ahead tonight as scheduled. And so speaking of that, you got State, who's ranked 25th in men's basketball. They're hosting Texas. State is 20-9. State is 8-8 in the SEC, whereas Texas is 16-13 overall. They're 5-11 in the SEC. Other games tonight in men's basketball include SEC Network 5 p.m. You got South Carolina hosting Georgia at 6 on the Deuce, ESPN2. You get Kentucky hosting LSU. They got Kentucky ranked 19th, a few spots ahead of State. Look at the records. Kentucky is actually one game behind State overall. They're 19-10. Both teams are 8-8 in the SEC. But Kentucky hosting LSU tonight at 6. That's ESPN2. On ESPN at 8 o'clock, Texas A&M, who has slid down the slide here lately, they are at home tonight hosting number 1 Auburn. So Auburn at A&M, 8 o'clock on ESPN. And then late tonight, 9 p.m. tip on the SEC Network. Now, I guess that would be 9 Eastern because it's at Vandy, but I don't know. It could be just a late tip. Anyway, Vandy is hosting Arkansas. Vandy's come to life now. They're 20-9, 8-8 in the SEC. And Arkansas with some nice wins. They started rough. They clawed back in it. They're 17-12 overall, 6-10 in the SEC. So that's your SEC basketball schedule for tonight. Now, let me give you this. You may have heard this over the last couple of days. We didn't cover it here, but curious what you think about it. It's being reported that Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred is considering a petition filed on January the 8th by Pete Rose's family to have Major League Baseball's all-time hit leader posthumously removed from baseball's ineligible list. Now, what would that mean? So this is this lawyer out in Los Angeles, Linkov. He's a lawyer out in Los Angeles, and he represented Pete Rose prior to when Pete Rose passed away at age 83 last September. And the lawyer said that he filed this reinstatement petition after he and Pete Rose's oldest daughter met with Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball in the commissioner's office back in December. Some sources are saying that the commissioner, met with them and that he's now reviewing this petition to maybe reinstate Pete Rose. It came up, last time it came up, I think it was December 2015, but it was the same guy, Rob Manfred. Back then in 2015, he rejected Pete Rose's reinstatement petition. And it happened right after he'd met one-on-one with Pete Rose. You haven't gotten any comments from the people on the Major League Baseball side of this, Manfred and somebody named Pat Courtney, who I think is a spokesman for MLB. I don't know if he's a communications person or whatever, but they have not put out any statement, any sort of comment on their own on this. Anyway, strong rumor enough that everybody's reporting on it. So what do you think? Pete Rose passed away last September. Should they now go through the exercise of removing him from the ineligible list and so that he could, enter the Baseball Hall of Fame? Would he get the votes even if you did? I mean, whatever that is, what do you think about it? Anyway, that'll wrap up your headlines here, top of the hour, first hour in the show today on this Tuesday in the Bureau. And all of our headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, presented by or powered by Luminate Bank. All new here. Any banking solution you need, they've got it. But especially in the mortgage realm, you head over there. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. All right, let's see. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. He's on the Country Pleasing text line. He says, so y'all are getting a piece of this storm that dropped our temperatures 30 degrees yesterday? Bigger, badder, one right behind it due tomorrow night through Friday. He said, I've no idea if it tracks home or not, but for what it's worth. Yeah, that's it. Spring is springing, ain't it, Jason? Hot air behind cold air behind hot air. And there you go. Let's see. Patches. Yep. He recognized my Columbo skills. My Sherlock Holmes skills. Now all I need is a funny little hat and a pipe. Patches O'Houlihan says, good work yesterday, Matt. You saw what we in certain professions call a clue. He said it was actually at the Clinton Walmart. Okay, so there you go, Beef. Yeah, let's see. Nick had a comment. He said, put the cart back, people. Rules are rules. And let's face it, without rules, there's chaos. In quoting Kramer. Without rules, there's chaos. Hey, but listen, Nick, that little quip applies to everything that I've talked about with college sports here over the last couple of years. Okay, and this is what I'm saying. This is why I just shake my head at how gullible people are. They'll just buy anything. They'll buy into anything. It's because the idea that without rules, there's chaos. And the way I framed it, though, with college sports was, okay, if you can't enforce your rules, then you don't really have rules if they are unable to be enforced. And therefore, if you don't really have rules, you don't have a league. You can't say, college football, the SEC, this league, that league. You don't have a league. Basically, what you have is it's every man for himself. And I know that's very much like capitalism. It's just not sports. Okay? It's not. All right. So my phone finally caught up. My phone was actually going through an update when I started the show. It just finished, and so I'm able to open it up and now see that Beaver is letting me know that our man, the MOORE, More Bully, is on the Deviney Equipment phone line. Deviney Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. More Bully, what's up?
You know it's me. You know it.
It is. I recognize your voice. I can confirm that.
Matt, I was telling Beaver, man, I'm just trying to keep my trucks in the lane.
Oh, is that blowing that hard out there, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't imagine what these 18-wheelers are going through today.
Oh, boy.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But I want to make a little comment about Pete Rose.
Hey, hold on real quick. Was the wind blowing so hard like it was that one day where that man, the wind was blowing so hard that man saw that chicken lay that same egg 5 times?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Pretty much.
I interrupted. All right, go ahead.
So here's my issue. I do understand that there's a panel of people that oversee rules of baseball or football or whatever sport you want to say.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is Pete paid his penance. I mean, more than anybody else, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, Shoeless Joe Jackson, maybe not. But, I mean, the man tried to apologize. I don't know if he did a good job at it. I mean, he was still gambling and stuff, just not on baseball. But, I mean, he admitted that he made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I know it was the rule you do not go against.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I'm going to go a little, I'm going to go a little religious on this. Basically, he who has never sinned, don't throw rocks in a glass house, or however that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, they're saying, we're better than you. And because we're better than you, you're not getting in.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically have you by the you-know-what. And I disagreed with it when they just wouldn't letting him in.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, what's there to do now? It's going to be a harder fight for his family now, I think.
Well, and that's
than when he was alive.
I kind of agree with most of everything he said there, more bully. And it's like, it said the family was trying to get him removed from the ineligible list. And I thought, why not say they're trying to get him in the Hall of Fame? And then maybe that is because even if you get him removed from the ineligible list, they're still not going to vote him in, and they probably realize that. And then you go,
that's right, but it's a big step if that happens, though.
Oh, sure it is. Yeah, sure it is.
I mean, especially with, the changeover of writers, all the time.
Right.
And for years, there's different voters, every, 10 years or so, probably. Somebody else gets added. I don't know what the cycle is, of course.
Yeah, I don't either.
Now, I want to ask you something.
You got to hang on. Hey, hang on. The music's going to cut you off. Just hold on.
All right.
I'm Eddie Hawkins with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com.
They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the prairie wildlife, old
conversation and tell him what you think. Right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right. Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Patrick texts the show and he says if State was smart, they would cancel this baseball game. Instead of moving it to tomorrow, just cancel it outright. See, that's the thing about it, though. You can't call yourself competitive and be, canceling games because you're afraid you might lose it. It's just not part of it. Just not the way it works. But I know what you're saying. Denzel texts the show, says, even if Pete Rose is reinstated to Major League, I don't think he'll get in. And here's why. He has the stats that says he's a Hall of Fame, but baseball Hall of Fame voters are the biggest babies and hold grudges for their entire voting career. They won't put him in just to spite him. And see, that's kind of what More Bully was saying. Hey, Beaver, did he hang on through the break?
Yep.
All right, let's go back to More Bully. Yeah, the music was cutting you off earlier, More Bully. So pick it up where you left off. You got the floor.
Hey, man, first of all, that intro that you just played, I've been interested in asking this for a long time. Is that from a song or is that for just a mix?
I don't know. I think it's just,
okay.
I think it's just like copyright free stuff, but I don't really know.
I got you.
It's been in there forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, the last thing I was going to say, ask you first is, did you get my text about Eddie Perez and Greg Maddux?
I got it, and I have seen that before. I think I saw it, at some point over the last year or so, and I watched that clip. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. There's a lot of stuff out there on Maddux that is really amazing.
Yeah, he's something else. And you know what threw me back a little bit is nobody caught on to that stuff.
Yeah, no.
His little hand signals and gestures.
Right.
Of what he's about to throw. And if you think about that, that makes these batters look even more silly.
Yeah.
That they can't pick up on that.
Well, and I'd always been under the impression, too, that sort of part of their trade was they were always keeping notes on body language and the habits and trying to pick up a tell here and there on everybody. I'd been made to believe over the years that every big league hitter was keeping notes on every pitcher he saw year after year anyway. Maybe that wasn't the case, though. Maybe they were just spending their money, having a good time, and playing a little baseball.
Probably, yeah. So I think, you can throw a lot of people into this, pitchers, but I think if you say he was the best pure pitcher of our lifetime, that we saw, it's him. Nolan threw hard, right?
Yeah.
And there's plenty of pitchers that threw hard. But I think pure pitching and being a master of it, he's the best we've seen.
Well, I agree with that. He's to me, he's the Tony Gwynn of pitching.
That's a good way to put it.
In that it wasn't, he didn't overpower everything. He was just better at everything. And mentally he was better than everybody else. That's the way Tony Gwynn was.
Yep.
Tony Gwynn was mentally better than everybody else.
I can watch Tony Gwynn bat all day long.
Me too. I'm telling you, when I get bored, and I get hungry for baseball, I'm telling you, and I guess this tells my age more, Bully, I don't pull up and watch a game from last year. I don't even pull up and watch a World Series game when the Braves won it a few years ago. I go back and I watch Maddox highlights. I watch Tony Gwynn highlights, Ken Griffey Jr., some of that stuff. Hey, I did see, you might find this, and I can't tell you specifically who posted it, but it's been in the last 2 or 3 days. Somebody posted a video clip. Nolan Ryan throwing the first pitch like he was the starter in an all-star game, okay? And the first pitch he threw in this all-star game, they have always rumored that it was 108 miles an hour. And he missed the strike zone, okay? It was like if it had been a right-handed hitter, it'd have hit him right in the cheekbone. But it was a left-handed hitter,
wow.
So it was up and away. But when he threw it, announcers and crowd and everybody went, whoa, You might find that and see if you think it was 108.
I'll look at it.
Yep. All right.
All right, man. Good to talk to you.
You too. You thank you more, Bully. Call me anytime. We'll stay on the phone, and we've got Wes on line 2. What's up, Wes?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just riding around looking for carts I can drag out in the middle of the
you want to make Beaver? You want to make Beaver mad? Don't put your cart up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of on the side of him. And grocery stores just don't make any sense to me. Like, I'm not the guy who's going to try and jockey position for like the best parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you're literally driving around looking for the best place to park, the shortest place to the front door to go into a place where you will walk the entirety of the time you're in there.
That's it.
Like,
That's it.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'll just pull up to the very, very back
Me
into the
too.
park and be like,
100%.
I'm going to
Wes, I do the same thing. And listen to this. Okay, the homecoming queen gets mad at me every time I do it because she believes that it is basically our duty, okay, to find the best parking space available and park in it. And I'm sitting here.
I mean, you're going in a place where you are going to walk the same pattern back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for an indisclosed amount of time.
Yes.
And you will forget, and then you'll go across.
Well, see, and here's on the parking thing too. Here's my pragmatic view on it, Wes. I can park at the end of the parking lot, save time looking, get out. It's only like 35 yards to the front door. And if I park at the end and start walking, I'll be in the store quicker than the person who spends all day waiting for the first space to come open.
Absolutely. And look, I don't even need a cart. If I look over there and I see the little short carts are gone,
amen.
I'll just go walk through the store and wait till I see a short cart just hanging out because I know it's going to be there.
Somebody left one.
Yeah, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But real quick, and I'll let you back have back your afternoon here.
Okay, all right.
With the Pete Rose deal, what it tells me, what Major League Baseball tells me is, because from what I can see, Barry Bonds is still the home run leader, correct?
He is. Yes.
So you're looking at a league that cares more about what may happen on the outside than the own sanctity of what happens inside the game.
Okay.
Barry Bonds, McGuire, Canseco, A-Rod, all these people, they run under speculation for steroids and all these other things, And I get the gambling part. It's a fine line.
Yeah.
But the deal is the man didn't bet to lose, and I get the rules, but he didn't use steroids, openly, and to topple records. I love Barry Bonds too, but you know what I mean? It's like you're going to hold on to Barry Bonds' record and leave it up there.
Yeah.
And I'm not advocating to take it down. But what I'm saying is like you're kind of it's kind of pointless. It's against logic to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I was thinking while you were talking, Wes, it seems like there was a movie back in the day, and the title of it was Other People's Money. And that's the phrase I think of when I, weigh this Pete Rose and gambling thing for baseball versus other things like steroids, is that with the gambling deal, it is trifling with other people's money. And I think that's baseball's looking at it that way. Go, okay, and then what it boils down to is this. If you're a league or you're, the enforcement arm, prove to me that you really want to stop something. And the way they prove it, the way they prove what they really care about is how severely they punish something, right? So they've proven to you and to me and any other fan, Wes, they don't care if somebody's juicing. I mean, it's as much a show. Their penalties are as much a show as anything else. Like if you're stupid enough to get caught 3 times, they'll suspend you for 180 games, but they don't really care. But they have proven that because it's dealing with other people's money, that they're real serious about this gambling thing.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. All right, y'all have a good afternoon. Stay safe.
You too.
Try and get to the house before the weather rolls in.
Yeah, you too, Wes. Careful out there, and we hope no damage. Thanks for the call. What was that movie? Who was in that movie? Other People's Money. Was it Danny DeVito and who? Yeah, that's the gambling thing. So like baseball goes, oh boy, this is really serious. Well, why? Because it deals with, it's messing with other people's money, the outcomes of games. And you go, well, steroids affects the outcomes of games. Yeah, but not as directly as potentially someone shaving a runoff or two, or an error here, an error there, or a swing and a miss here there. You know what I'm saying? So they got real serious about it. All right. Rolling along with you in hour 1 in the Bureau. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. I am way late on this, but I got to get to these comments here. Sven and Hail State fan, it's like I'm guilty of reading your comments on the live stream, but then we had phone calls and other things, and so I hope you didn't think I was ignoring you. But Sven on the YouTube live stream said, Hail State, everyone, 2 things today. Is the state baseball game postponed? If not, when would be first pitch? Yeah, they did postpone it until tomorrow, Sven. So I think I'm looking at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. State will host Southern Miss. You're right, Ole Miss postponed one, but I think what it was is they canceled the game that was scheduled for today, and they have another team they're going to host and play tomorrow. So Ole Miss was going to have 2 midweek games, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're just not going to play the Tuesday, play the Wednesday, bump the other one down the road and make it up somewhere, most likely. All right, and regarding the buggy in the parking lot, a couple of things. Beeve saw a selfish person had left their buggy at the end of the one-way row at Walmart, right next to where it says stop. And Beaver, I'm assuming it meant someone was going to have to get out of their car, walk to it, and move this buggy somewhere, right? That's the situation?
Yeah, it was literally in a space where there was no way someone could have avoided it.
Beaver, listen to this. What Sven says they do in Germany, and he's in Berlin. Listen to this. In Germany, you pay €2 a €2 deposit for your buggy, and he says, and everyone brings it back to get their money back. Simple and easy. Now, what do you think?
Well, that's the way, if I understand it, that grocery store Aldi, you have to put a quarter in to get your buggy.
Okay.
So at the end, you can get your quarter back.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like they're following Germany rules.
Well, but I mean, a quarter is a whole lot less than a couple of euros. So I mean, you're talking about what, basically $3?
Oh, I didn't know the euro translation.
Yeah, but I think that's right. So for would $3, that's a lot of quarters. You'd have to put $3. Let's do $2. Let's do $2. You put your $2 in, and it has to be paperless, like it's not paper money. Let's say like it's a card. And when you check that thing back in, or with an app, let's say it's an app. And when you check that buggy back in, you get your $2 back. I'd be all for that. Because I'm a little bit like Wes in that I don't always use a buggy. You know? Okay, I think it would solve some of our problem. Now, I'm not saying we ought to take a whole lot of cues from other countries like Germany, but that's one we ought to copy. Beav, you a yes or a no on $2, you don't bring your buggy back, you lose it.
Yeah, I'm for it.
He's for it.
I want my $2.
All right, we're going to start picketing for that. We'll go down to the Capitol. We'll start lobbying and see if we can make that happen. Sven also says Pete Rose is not going to play in Major League anymore, so what a nonsense. Talking about getting him off of the ineligible list. I think, again, applicationally, which is hard to say, you're right. Hail State fan says this, and it's hard to argue with this. He says Pete could have bet on so many other sports, and he bet on baseball. Lifetime ban. He said it should never be changed. 100% it's his own fault. That's what he said. Hey, Beaver, are you still able to hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming it's weather related. Like where I am right now, I'm talking big, bad wind blowing. But something changed in the headset. It's buzzing, and I was just making sure you could still hear me.
Oh, I got no lights over here.
What?
That's what happened. Our lights just went out. Computers and everything are still up, but I'm in the dark.
Okay, wait a minute. Time out. So you have electricity, just not the electricity that's got lights on.
Yeah. The only lights in here are from these computers right now.
So that's when the lights went out. That's when the buzzing started in my ears here, down the line. Okay, well, we'll hang in there. All right.
And I don't hear our generator going on. It's supposed to kick on in 10 seconds. So, we'll see how long I'm with you.
Do I hear beeping going on in the background there?
Yeah.
All right.
Not a good time right now.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and say this then. If everything goes according to plan, then at the top of hour 2, I'm going to have a fishing conversation with my man Larry Pugh, former deputy director at Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. He's now retired, and so he is doing a whole lot of fishing and playing golf. He's constantly posting pictures of big bass, and he did that recently too. And so if we're still on at that time, and we have some lights in the studio for Beaver, then we'll talk to Larry coming up in just a bit. Okay, Sven says this. If someone doesn't want to miss baseball today, the World Baseball Classic streams all the games from Tucson, Arizona today. China versus Brazil, Colombia versus Germany. Sven, I just want to thank you and give you a round of applause for letting me know. Because listen, I'm just going to say this. This is not an excuse. We are all busy. I would not dare insinuate that I am more busy and my life is more cluttered than yours or anybody else's. Everybody's busy in their own way. But I am saying that the way my busyness lately has affected me, and it's been a good busy, like the Lord has blessed us and everybody's healthy, and I've been following Mary Lydia around with some of her opportunities. We've had so much fun. But I will say, it's just, my head has just been constantly spinning day after day. There's been no routine. And if you listen to this show pretty regularly, you'd know that. Matt doesn't have a routine. Okay, so for that reason, I've not had my nose in the sports section every day looking at the upcoming schedule. And I would have missed this World Baseball Classic. I love the World Baseball Classic when it comes around. What is it, every 3 years or whatever it is? I mean, you want to see something cool. You know, have a meaningful game for a team from, let's say, Korea, like a home game for a team from Korea, and watch that baseball game on the World Baseball Classic. They put it on MLB Network or whatever it is. It is fascinating, and it's really good baseball too. Now, he's saying that it's a qualifier. Sven's saying they're having a qualifier out in Arizona. But I love that stuff. Hail State fans asking how many of my Astros are going to get hurt in the World Classic this year. And that's always a debate. You know, they miss certain time in spring training. If they're major leaguers and they go play on the teams for their native countries in the World Baseball Classic, they don't like it because they miss some spring training, or they could get hurt, and saying it doesn't mean as much as their job, which it is their job. They get paid to play for their major league teams. I'm just saying, too bad, so sad for MLB. I enjoy Major League Baseball. The World Baseball Classic is more interesting. It is. I think it's probably a big reason they don't do it more often is because there is so much blowback from the major league teams, and probably the players too. They wouldn't want to do it every year. But strictly from a ratings and a viewership and an interest standpoint, it's way more interesting. So thanks for giving me the heads up, because I don't want to miss that. Happy Tuesday to you, Will. He's in on YouTube. Happy Tuesday to you. Hey, look at here. All right, somebody asked me earlier, and I failed to comment on it. Who was it? I had an unnamed texter that said, how was the Dueling Hall event last night? Let me tell you, we had a blast, and we didn't get to stay to the end because we had to drive Mary Lady back to Tupelo late last night. She slept in the car pretty much the whole way. We got back to Tupelo around midnight, and then she slept the rest of the way at home, and she had to get up and go take tests. She had 2 big tests today at school, and she's a good student, and she's really conscientious and takes a lot of pride in it. She didn't want to miss. And so we didn't get to stay to the very end. But let me just tell you, we had a great time. One, the venue is really cool. I'd never been in Dueling Hall for anything before. The venue was really cool. We got to go down and see the green room and all that kind of stuff too. And just what they've done there is great. Number 2, the sound system and the acoustics in that place are incredible. Okay, so it was great to hear everybody sing, including her own daughter, you know. It's for a great cause. People so kind to turn out, and they all bought tickets and everything. And then Mr. Hogjowl himself, he and the rest of his crew and their band called Slightly Tarnished, which is a fantastic name, by the way. They did a whole set of John Prine songs, tributes to John Prine, and sang a bunch of his songs, and it was great. And Mr. Hogjowl has one heck of a voice. Guy can really sing and play. And anyway, it was good food, really nice people, met some really nice people. Mary Liddy did really enjoy getting to sing. She didn't sing John Prine songs because I guess we hadn't taught any to her, but we might change. We're going to have to change that because she enjoyed listening to him. She was asking a lot about those songs and who he was, and so we're going to learn some of that stuff too. But ultimately, it was a great cause, raising some more money for the Children's Hospital there, and which is near and dear to Hogjowl and others, and a lot of the people that are, that couldn't have been better as far as I'm concerned. I appreciate you asking. All right, more of your texts and phone calls and everything on the other side of the break. Hour 2 coming up. Stick around.
Do you really need to study game film in bed?
That's what they
I'm
say.
Eddie
I'm
Holcomb
with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel,
team stuff. I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online, murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
Type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
Lives?
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com/iPhone for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
We are good to go.
With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone1059.com.
All right. Back with you, hour number 2 in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau, easy for me to say, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Hey, I got hot coffee. Okay, so that's good. I might even put a little in the thermos, save it for later in case the power goes out. Hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. The lights went out in the studio, but the computer's still on. Figure that out. Figure that one out. I guess maybe it was somebody smart back in the day, wired the home studio that Beaver's in so that if some of the power goes out, maybe not all of it does. Although I think there have been times when all of it went out. So I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know that stuff. I'm not an electrician. All I am is an avid coffee drinker. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. And I will say, I've had several instances at the Wyatt Hacienda where the sirens were going off and all of a sudden, blink, there went the power. And man, I was ever more thankful for my handy dandy phone from C Spire with whether it be LTE or 5G coverage, depending on where I am, where I'm able to pull up a live stream, still watch local weather, still tune into it, look at a local radar, even when the power has gone out. And so it's a real luxury. For me, anyway, it is, being a C Spire customer in the state of Mississippi. It's a real luxury when we have severe weather. Now, we're told we are going to have some. And what we hope is that it's the severe kind that might scare us, but doesn't do lots and lots of damage. That's what we hope. But this time of year, you never know. I mean, we just get it. We get it this time of year. It's at some point we're going to have to deal with it, and hopefully we don't have anyone injured, and we break out the chainsaws and cut the trees off the road and off the roof and rebuild it and move on. But y'all stay safe. And any updates you have, send them along. Delta Tide fan texted me earlier on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, I was trying to send the picture, but the weather is playing havoc with my signal there. And let's see. Picture of what's that, at church? Were you preaching? Okay, let's see. He said, look at him, my man. He said, I still got a few more weeks to keep weight off my feet, but things are getting better. Thanks for all the prayers and keeping them coming. I'm in a wheelchair, so I can stay off my feet as much as possible. Here's me leading worship at church this past Sunday in a wheelchair. Atta boy. Atta boy. I'm happy for you. And I'm really happy that you are getting better too. So let us know. Continue on the up and get back on your feet and catch a big one from me. Hey, and really and truly, like pre this front would be a good time to go fishing. I'm not saying be out there right now, but we'll talk some fishing a little bit later. Good to hear from you, Delta Tide fan. Glad you're doing better. Regarding where to park in the parking lot and avoid people who selfishly leave their shopping carts in the way. Hog Jowl, my man, he texted the show and he said, I've always parked the far end to avoid dings on the car. He said there is one stipulation. Beth, that's his wife, gets dropped off at the entrance. Uh-huh. See? That's what I'm talking about. That's the way real men do it, Hog Jowl. You drop her off at the entrance. You save the steps. And you hold the door for her too, don't you? I don't care what anybody says, whether they like it or not. That's the way it ought to be. Let me tell you what else the way it ought to be. A man ought to go fishing or play golf every single day. You can't do that, can you? Fishing, hunting, or golf every single day. They say you can't do that. Well, I know a guy who's trying to prove them all wrong, and he's on your radio right now as we speak. He is Larry Pugh, the now retired former deputy director of Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, and there for a while. I think, Larry, didn't you have a streak going there for a while where you were either hunting, fishing, or playing golf every single day? Are you still doing it?
I'm doing the best I can, Matt. I hadn't fished since yesterday. But now, today and tomorrow I've taken off.
Okay, yeah, right. I understand.
The wind is problematic today with some severe storms this afternoon, and then I think we've got high wind advisories tomorrow too.
Yeah, it's unavoidable. You get that severe weather coming in. Hey, Beaver, do I still have you? Am I still on? I think we might have lost. I think I might have lost connection with Beaver. I'm not real sure. They may have lost power in the station for all that I know. It's one of those things where they've had weather and power issues going on, so it's possible that